Cam Jordan on Sean Payton. Cam Jordan, one of my favorite Saints of all time, maybe my favorite Saint of all time. Love the guy. See him at Pelicans games all the time. Love him. You know, lifelong Saint. Talking to Colin Cowherd here. I have not watched this video, but according to the title, how will Sean Payton fare in Denver? So we're going to focus on what Cam Jordan has to say about Sean Payton. We're not going to focus on what he has to say about Hurts or Rodgers or whatever the title says. Just the Sean Payton stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it with Colin and Cam.
Building. What did you lose with Sean Payton? Like, explain that to the audience.
I mean, huge level of energy. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I think I love how quick I hit the pause sometimes. I like to get my stuff out there before they say it, so it doesn't sound like I'm repeating what they're saying, which is why I pause it certain ways, just in case y'all are wondering. You know, a lot of people are like, well, let them talk. It's like, well, then what would be the point of having me here, right? I got to talk first. It's my channel. It's in Cam Jordan's channel. Losing Sean lost the identity of the Saints because the Saints fans trusted Sean. And Sean had a very observable philosophy, and we knew what to expect, and we trusted that as long as Sean is there, that system, that formula will happen. And we will just have to replace players, plug players in, do whatever. But the system works. And if the system works and the system is there, we're along for the ride. Once that was taken away, now there's a whole bunch of like, what the hell is Dennis Allen doing? What the hell is Pete Carmichael doing? We can't even follow the path here. We can't even follow the tree of decision making. There is no system. There is no philosophy. And when you take away philosophy and you take away system, you take away culture. And for a fan base as crazy as the Saints fans are, and for a city like New Orleans, when you take away the culture, at that point, it's just numbers running around the field and no one knows why.
No, his energy is so offensive minded. It's, hey, you know, I see a wide receiver split at the hash, but it's not exactly at the hash. I want you to be inside of the hash. If you know Sean Payton, Sean's gonna hit you with this. He'd be like, bro, what does that mean? You see a receiver literally shift over and be like, yeah. Now as you go, when you have that step, you have a little bit more wiggle room to get open here. You love to see it happen from the defensive side. You're like, dang, I wouldn't even think, you know, this could matter or whatever it is. He'd be like, oh, you got cover two, you got one high. This is where it's coming down.
Yeah, I'm talking about the culture and stuff. Cam's doing a great job of explaining just how good of a mind Sean Payton was. I think he's probably, I think top 5 for sure. Top 5 best offensive minds in the last 15 years. You know, he's that top tier. He's that upper echelon of offensive minds. He is a tried and true coach. The guy knows what he's doing. I obviously am not in the rooms to hear that, but that's what Cam's illustrating here. Is that, you know, Sean, he ain't guessing. He knows what he wants. He knows everything down to a half centimeter of what he wants, where he wants it, and why.
We're going to expose this. It's going to be a touchdown. And in Sean's mind, it's going to be a touchdown. Yeah. And when it happens, that's when you see Sean come down to the defensive side. He'll come down, hey, I got 40 more plays just like this. You're all striking. I want 50. And you see that on the defense side of the ball. You're like, he's going for 50, you know? And it's easy to buy in, and you love to see it. And he brings us a level of consistency Monday through Saturday. You're just going to get exactly the same. Hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to improve on today. This is what we're focused on.
Now, how will he work? I like Russell Wilson.
You see how I left Sunday open, though.
You did. I like Russell Wilson. You know, a lot of Seahawks took shots at him when he left. It made me go, whoa. The Denver thing was not just bad, it was a disaster.
The first year, there's still time.
So do you think Sean's capable of being confrontational and saying, hey, this.
Oh, he's going to be confrontational. Sean Payton is a prickly pear. I can go ahead and tell you that. He ain't. Sean Payton is absolutely not, you know, a Teletubby out there. He's not Mr. Rogers. He's not a coach like that. He will bust Russell Wilson's ass. The question is, will Russell Wilson respond to that? Will Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited, at this point in his career, a year into a $250 million guaranteed contract, at the twilight of his career, will he respond? Will he care? Will that work? Will he be amiable? I think the question is more, will Russell Wilson be amiable to Sean Payton's critique? Instead of, will Sean Payton be able to do the critiquing?
This thing. Okay?
Absolutely.
He is.
Absolutely. I mean, the greatest thing that I saw about, him going to Denver is Sean is overly confident in his abilities.
Oh, no question.
100%.
He believes that
Yeah.
what his system is going to work, and it is a winning system.
Yeah.
If you know Russell, you've met Russell plenty of times. Russell Wilson's mentality is so confident and positive. He's going to win in all aspects of life.
Yeah.
I really haven't talked about this because this isn't a Denver Broncos channel or whatever, but I think Russell mentally, I think he'll be okay with that. I think he wants to win. I think Russell did not like the flack that he took last year. I think Russell will accept coaching from Sean Payton. My question with Russell is Father Time kind of hitting him hard? Sean Payton and Drew Brees may not have had the same results if he got to Drew Brees when Drew Brees was 32 years old, when Drew Brees was already starting to break down, when Drew Brees physically was already kind of starting to fail. Drew Brees didn't start failing physically until the last year and a half, when he started getting hurt and his arm left, and it happens. Peyton Manning, it happened overnight. Peyton Manning went from 70 touchdown passes to, man, this guy can't throw the ball more than about 20 yards. He was wearing a glove. The nerve endings or whatever in his neck affected his hand. He couldn't grip the ball. And just like that, gone. Russell Wilson, from what I saw last year, his legs are gone. Russell's escapability, Russell's, his ability to run around, his ability to do all that stuff is gone. Russell is pretty close to just like a pocket passer now. And that takes away a huge element of what made Russ so good, what made Russ able to cook. On top of that, he started missing a lot of throws last year. Now, you could say that was timing, or you could say that was, the plays, or he just didn't understand the system, or his audibles, or whatever. He did not look the same physically at any point last year. So, Sean is a good coach, but Sean isn't a miracle worker. If Russell's gone, if he physically is just, not there, nothing you can do. And it happens to players. It happened. It happened to Cam Newton. Cam Newton was basically LeBron. He was a indestructible freak athlete. And then all of a sudden, he had the same surgery I think Peyton Manning did. And all of a sudden, Cam couldn't even throw the ball overhead. Remember, he was throwing the ball like from here. He was throwing these like sidearm shot put passes, and he was just a different player.
Put both those mentalities together, you can't tell me it's not going to be a positive influence on each other.
So I want to talk. You guys did not play Kansas City. You did play Philadelphia. Now, Gardner Minshew was the quarterback.
Right.
But I think
4 sacks, 113 and a half, 14
Yeah, I mean, the Saints destroyed the Eagles.
and a half and 15 and a half. Yeah.
Say again?
I mean, just to pass up Ricky Jackson, just a 3-sack night. Don't worry about it.
Just a three-
We walked into 2023 in an all right position because of Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm with it.
So people love their offensive line. You had some success.
Yeah.
So this is something we've talked about a lot, is that I think Kansas City's O-line is being told all week that the Eagles have the best line in football. And
Okay, so we've kind of shifted into the Eagles thing. Since we've kind of started it, I'll let Cam finish this part. I'll give some kind of thoughts to this, and then we'll wrap it up. But we'll kind of go back on the Sean Payton stuff.
I think Tooney's great. Creed Humphrey's great. I think KC's O-line is hearing all week how great the O-line is for the Eagles. But you had success against it. You tell me, is the Eagles O-line a little overrated? It's like a little old in spots.
Well, look, Colin, I have never changed. I don't know if offensive linemen, in my mind, I'm just indifferent about them. You could say this one's great, this one's amazing, this one's bad, this one's terrible. Offensive linemen are cool to have because you need them. There needs to be an offensive line, right?
I kind of believe the same thing. Like, there are some offensive linemen, like left tackles, like Trent Williams, who obviously make a difference, no doubt. But I think the whole, they have a great offensive line or whatever, I think it is kind of overrated. The difference between, now, with that being said, having a bad offensive line is bad, is detrimental. But having, the third best offensive line or the 11th best offensive line really probably isn't that big of a deal. Having the 8th best offensive line or the 30th, that's a much bigger deal. But I don't think, especially when you have like, you know, two teams like this, two teams that are successful, two teams that are good, I don't think that it really matters. I don't think you're going to hear a lot about how good the Eagles' offensive line and defensive line are, but when you have Patrick Mahomes on their side, he's going to negate a lot of what makes their defensive line good. When you have Andy Reid having 2 weeks to prepare, he's going to negate a lot of what makes that defensive line good. And, you know, so, yeah, I'm kind of indifferent to it as well.
Can't replace a guy like Teron Armstead, the Lane Johnsons, your Trent Williams. But other than that, offensive linemen are just people who get.
I mean, guys, it's unbelievable what you get right here on a daily basis. Look at Colin's setup. Look at Colin's setup. Look what he's got going on. He's got his setup is 4 times as big as the apartment building that my apartment is in, right? And he's not giving you what I'm giving you. You know exactly what I said. Boom, boom. Left tackle, sure. You can't replace them. Cam rattles them off. We both rattle off Trent Williams. I mean, unreal.
Get in the way, right? Like, in my mind, I don't hate them. I don't love them. They're just people that get in the way.
They don't decide games.
So you dropped off names I have never looked at. You know, I think that guys like Pat Mahomes, that's
Colin, I can promise you this. Colin is mind blown right now that a defensive lineman who has had as much success as Cam Jordan has had, the fact that he's telling Colin, like, I don't even know who the center for the Chiefs is. I don't even know who the right guard for the Chiefs is. No clue. That means he's not game planning for him. He's a defensive lineman. I guarantee you, Colin, before this conversation thought defensive linemen know everything about every offensive lineman. They know their moves, they know their trends, they know their this. And Cam told you the truth right there. That's not how the NFL is anymore. The NFL is, this offensive line doesn't matter. What matters is Patrick Mahomes. What matters is Tyreek Hill. What matters is Justin Jefferson. What matters is Joe Burrow. What doesn't matter is their right guard. What doesn't matter is their center, right? The NFL has changed. The NFL has changed to where every single facet of a defense or an offense is trying to stop 1 or 2 players. It's superstar versus superstar. You know, like when they play the Bucks, I guarantee you, Cam's entire week is how do we stop Tom Brady? Not how am I going to get my swim move to work against blank offensive linemen. So, well, I love it. What a great answer from Cam. So we'll go ahead and stop the video there, guys. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Sean Payton will have success in Denver? Do you think he'll be able to fix Russell Wilson? What can Russell expect from Sean Payton? What can Denver Broncos fans expect? If you're a Broncos fan watching this, what do you expect? Do you expect Russell to be fixed just one offseason back to the old Russ? Or do you think it's more of like, yeah, Russell's kind of old. We're going to have to get through the Russell Wilson era to see what Sean Payton can really do. Let me know, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.